Buenos dias from Cali, Colombia, COP16. I have a pleasure to have distinguished delegate, Mr. Tiago Pitta. He's the CEO of a very prominent leading organizations, Oceano Azul, based in Portugal. Thank you, Tiago, for being with me. And I just want to ask you, so far, what is your finding and reflections of your participation in the COP16 of CBD?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, Sanori. I say that this is the most important COP of the conference for the CBD COP. We have been blessed with the signing of the Cunha Global Biodiversity Program less than 2 years ago, and we think that the commitments from this global framework are a lifeline for humanity. Scientists tell us that we need to increase protection of nature, save what's left, if we want our life support systems to keep functioning well and to improve and to restore. And this is how this COP is so important. It has been a great pleasure to meet so many ocean colleagues and ocean champions that are pushing for getting to 2030 with 30% of the ocean protected.
Thank you, Tiago. And I really got a very high impression about the success at the Ocean Day event yesterday and even this morning about this high sea coalitions for promoting this BBNJ agreement entering into force. Can you tell us what you really expect to this COP16 about what should be achieved and what should we expect?
Well, you touched upon a very important point, which is the interconnection between CBD COPs, Kunming-Montreal and the High Seas Treaty. It's not possible to get to 2030 with 30% of the ocean protected if we don't indeed start preparing marine protected areas in the high seas. And so the fact that there is a lot of ocean champions and a lot of financial resources that are being channeled to increase the pace, to accelerate the creation of marine protected areas in the high seas, I think is an important contribution already also of this CBD COP. But Oceano Azul Foundation, we are very interested as well that national obligations from member states of the CBD are also respected and carried forward. So we have been pushing a number of member states and ocean champions to think how we can reinforce the framework for monitoring and revision of the obligations of the member states for 30 by 30. And here our goal is that the same way we will have a revising mechanism for member states' obligations for 2030 in 26, that we will also use COP18, CBD COP18 in 28 to create another opportunity for monitoring and revision of member states' targets to get to 20 to 30% of ocean protection in 2030.
Thank you, Tiago. And I understand that there are still a lot of challenges in achieving 30 by 30 target. What are really the key features in order to overcome such challenges?
Well, in many ways, I think that it's important, first of all, that this target of 30 by 30 is promoted by the decision makers, by the stakeholders, the civil society organizations, to a goal that is as important for humanity as the 2 degrees Celsius of the Paris Agreement. We'll not be able to do the decarbonization only through reducing emissions from greenhouse gases. We will need also to renaturalize the planet. This is what scientists are telling us. In order to actually have a balanced climate and not to move from the current climate crisis into what people already speak of a climate chaos, it is necessary that we have nature enough to fuel some of the most important life support systems of the planet, which are the forests and the ocean. Both these life support systems are actually fueled, they are energized through nature. And in the ocean, the demise of the biomass and the biodiversity it's one of the biggest challenges. This is why we are so important in Oceano Azul Foundation as well to work on building marine protected areas.
Excellent. I was very impressed with the newly announced MPA in Portugal, and I'm also impressed with your activities to engage European government in doing more for the ocean. What is the role that you plan to play as the CEO of Oceano Azul?
Well, you know, Oceano Azul, we work on two parallel tracks. We work on international advocacy by working with national governments and other ocean stakeholders, trying to influencing the international ocean agenda in the direction of getting into decisions that are needed and of course getting into solutions for the ocean problems. We've been very active on, for instance, deep sea mining, but also on 30 by 30 or on connecting ocean and climate and pushing the ocean up in the climate negotiations. But at the same time, we also work on the ground. We think that we need to lead by example, and this is where we've been building marine protected areas. Oceano Azul Foundation has been very successful because in our first 7 years of existence, we have actually achieved 3 marine protected areas. The last of them, the biggest, in Azores. It's the 11th biggest marine protected area in the planet. It's also the biggest in Europe and is the biggest in the North Atlantic. It's 300,000 square kilometers, where half of this will be fully protected and the other half highly protected. We think that by giving the example this way, we are also contributing to get to target 3 of CBD and therefore to get to 30 by 30.
Excellent, Tiago, and we are also collaborating with the Nippon Foundation and economists in hosting this forthcoming World Ocean Summit that was held in Lisbon, Portugal 3 times for the last 3 years. We also look forward to having you and collaborating with you to promote Ocean Dialogue at the Osaka Expo. Climate change COP is also forthcoming. What should we keep eyes on the action and the event and activities for the forthcoming months and the year?
So 2025 might become the second super year of the ocean after 2022. And it's going to be also an Asian year for the ocean because a lot of important events, like you mentioned, are going to be in Asia and are going to be actually in Japan. So Osaka with the Expo and the World Ocean Summit in Tokyo, they will be 2 very important events that I am sure will gather all the international ocean community in Japan. Oceano Azul Foundation, we are looking forward to participate both at the World Ocean Summit and of the economists in Tokyo and also at the Osaka Expo by bringing awareness about the ocean agenda where we really have to make a difference. But because you also mentioned the COP climate where Sasakawa Peace Foundation and Oceano Azul Foundation worked so well in the past, we are going to push for the same goal that we've been pushing in the last years, which is to get the recognition by climate COPs that the ocean, marine protected areas, 30 by 30, are a fundamental instrument to achieve the the climate goals, to contribute to decarbonization, because marine protected areas create more biomass and more biodiversity, which actually contributes to absorb CO2 in the water. And by doing this, we hope that building marine protected areas becomes a priority for many national governments throughout the world.
Thank you for your very inspiring talks. I had a pleasure of having Mr. Tiago Pitta here, CEO, Cunha, CEO of Oceano Azul Foundation.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.